Everyone has a story. Stories have power. They help us understand each other. This is Jessop's Journal.
Doug.
Hello, Terry.
Great to see you.
Good to see you. Welcome to Taylor
Oh,
Cooperative.
well, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming for Jessop's Journal. Let's go take a seat.
Okay.
We gotta, make you official and have you
Okay.
sign in
Oh.
the book. Today with Jessop's Journal, we have Terry Grant. Terry and I have met, a while back, and you are the president of a little bank.
Just a little one, yeah.
You got something on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lapel there?
I get to be a walking billboard wherever I go with that with that lapel pin. But Key Bank.
It's interesting when you look at the way that our childhoods are and everything like that. Was there somebody that believed in you before you believed in you?
I don't think any of us get to where we are today without people believing in us, mentoring us, taking a notice of us, and really taking us under their wing. I had a few people. I grew up in an amazing family that my parents were very supportive of me and everything we did. In fact, I had actually a unique childhood. My parents were some of the very first multi-level marketing, or we call them MLM for short here in Utah. We all kind of know what that means, or direct selling people here in the state of Utah. When I was 11 years old, my parents joined Amway Corporation.
Oh, wow.
And they were told that you could not grow that kind of a business here in Utah, that our culture just didn't support it. People had tried it and failed at it. My parents did not listen. They went on to build a very successful Amway business. So from an 11-year-old on, I was really put in the spotlight. We'd have Grant family rallies and reunions. Myself and my brothers, I was the oldest of four boys, we would speak in front of thousands of people.
Really?
In fact, I spoke at the Superdome at one time.
Wow.
Just full of people. So I grew up kind of in the spotlight. I ran seminars for teenagers of Amway building families to teach them how they could help their parents grow their business. But I've got to tell you, if there's one person I can point to that believed in me before I believed in me, is my wife.
Really?
We were married young, 22 years old.
Oh, heck yeah, that sounds familiar.
Still needed a lot of growing up to do. I didn't really know who I was or how I was going to find my way in the world. And we, very shortly after we were married here in Utah, we moved to Denver, Colorado, which started an amazing 20-year journey, working in 5 states and 2 countries before we moved back to Utah. And in every turn, she was so supportive and made me stretch beyond what my comfort zone was, and really was my rock and my foundation and my confidant. That really believed in anything I did was the right thing.
Where did you guys meet?
We met at the old ZCMI stores for those old Utah people. Our first date was New Year's Eve, and never looked back. My wife and I were dirt poor, just newly married, out in Denver. She was working as a receptionist at a trucking company. And so I started looking in the Denver Post for a job, and lo and behold, there was an opportunity for a peak time teller at Central Bank of Denver, which just meant during the hours where most people wanted to come in and do their banking, I would go in and help out. And so that's how I started my banking career, was as a teller at Central Bank. Back then, ATMs had just been introduced. Nobody wanted to use a machine. They wanted to stand in line for 15, 20 minutes to talk to their teller because they had a relationship. And we'd actually have a competition on the teller line, who could send the most people down to get a demonstration on this machine. Recently, Doug, I was joking with one of our area retail leaders at Key, and said, we need to have a demonstration on how to deal with a real person to do banking today, because boy, has it shifted so far from not wanting to use a machine, wanting to use a person, to now everybody uses their mobile devices and computers to do online banking.
Right. I understand you had a slightly well-known neighbor.
This is true. I lived in a place called Freehold, New Jersey, and Bruce Springsteen was one of our neighbors. And Bruce, he was really well known for just being a part of the community. I went to the same barber he did for
There you
growing
go.
up. He would come and go to high school events. And I saw him at a PTA meeting one time. And I finally told my wife, I'm going to go over and shake his hand. And my wife said, no, 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 he is here for his child. Do not bother him at a PTA meeting.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I love Bruce Springsteen.
He's
He's
the
the
boss.
boss. He's
Yeah.
the boss. I've got to go. So I went over and I spoke with him, and I did not ask him for his autograph. I didn't go
Okay.
that far, but I
Okay.
just shook his hand and just let him know how much his music meant to me and
Yeah.
so many others. In fact, I remember one of our first concerts together as a husband and wife was in Denver when he came through
Really?
with the Born in the USA tour,
Oh, man.
and how much we enjoyed that concert. So we just chatted for a few, just a down to earth guy, just very personable.
When we've gotten to, shall we say, a certain age, that we kind of have a refining fire, and you kind of go through things. Take me back, was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah. In July of 2017, we were driving to our cabin, and the back tire exploded on our truck. Literally exploded. Witnesses say that it picked the back of us up. And if you know, outside of Scipio, Utah, there's 2 lanes south and 2 lanes north on I-15, and a sloped median in between. And my front tire hit that sloped median with our blowout of our tire, and we immediately rolled.
Dear.
I came out, with a few cracked bones and bruises and stitches, but my poor wife was beat up pretty bad. And in fact, she has never recovered from that. She's still never regained consciousness. So she's currently today, 2 years later, in a vegetative, minimally conscious state. About a year and a half ago, we brought her home to our home, and we adapted our home for her to make sure that she was as comfortable and felt as loved as possible. But that refiner's fire that you talk about, those pivotal times in your life, everything has really changed from the way I view others. Maybe I should give you an example.
Okay.
Rightly or wrongly, bankers are taught to judge.
Yeah.
We need to make decisions on who is bankable, creditworthy, whatever cliche name you want to put to it. But
Okay.
we're trained and taught that one of the first credit criterias is the individual. So we want to make sure of the character of those individuals. And so we a lot of times make judgments on individuals. I think I judged a little bit too much because I guess because of the accident and people knowing my circumstances, they felt I was a bit of a safe zone where they could come and tell me what's going on in their own personal lives. Because now I'm part of that club, a club that nobody wants to be a part of,
Yeah.
but I'm a part of it with tragedy, with family members or others. I have had so many people come up, and people I respect, people that I would have no clue what's going on in their personal lives that I knew from the professional level, tell me about circumstances in their lives. And it really opened my eyes that, you know what, we have no idea what other people are dealing with, and sometimes we judge a little bit too quick, but we don't know what else they're dealing with, what other balls they have in the air that they have to keep in the air. And so I've just taken on the mantra or the belief that people are doing the best they can in life with the cards that life has dealt them, and to just give each other a break, and just accept that we're imperfect creatures, and that we're just doing the best we can to get through this thing called life.
Thank you very much for sharing. Thanks for coming on to Jessop's
Oh, it's
Journal.
been my pleasure. It's just I really appreciate what you are doing with Jessop's Journal and the other things that you're doing here in our community, bringing out the good of what people are doing, what nonprofits are doing and others to help others. You're really an amazing part of our community, and I thank you.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
Great. Thanks, Doug.
Well, I've got some lovely parting gifts for you from
Okay.
our
Oh,
underwriters.
great,
Okay. So
great.
we got this special box from Rustico, but
that's
okay,
beautiful.
let's do the unveiling here. Okay. Here we go. Okay, we've got a couple things. Number one, Rustico. See if they spelled it right. You know, Rustico made you a custom
There you
journal.
go, and they did.
Okay.
Beautiful.
And
Wow.
you've got
that's
a very nice pen.
Thank you, Rustico. That's great.
Okay, we've got, you know, my hat maker, a JW Custom Hats, is going to provide and make you a custom hat.
Wow.
Of course, we're here at Taylor Cooperative. They're the guys that do all my suits and shirts. They're actually going to make you a custom made-to-measure shirt.
Great. I look forward to that.
Pretty neat. And then, of course, the folks at Ogden's Own Distillery have provided our fun little booze basket. And,
Okay.
and I know you may or may not drink, but I'm pretty sure you know some people that...
Oh, I am sure I will be a very popular person.
There you go. So, you know, here's the thing we want to remind everybody out there. Stories have power.
They do.
They help us understand. With another entry into Jessop's Journal, I'm Doug Jessop, ABC4 News.